How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my small engine repair channel. Today's project is on this Yard Machines made by MTD. It's got a Power Mower 139cc engine, and I just pulled it out of my shed from storage from last year. I'm sure I got this free from somebody. As you can see, it's missing a bunch of parts, and I've tested it apparently last year, and I put runs but has low idle. So let's see if we can't get this thing back in service and cutting grass again. Alright guys, so I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to take this because a couple things. It's missing some parts, the air filter housing, the breather tube, and those particular parts right there would be cost prohibitive. So I do have an extra mower that has these parts, but I might need to keep that mower intact because it might be a survivor as well. So if not, then I can put the two together and make one good one. The other major problem with this thing, if you've seen a previous video of mine, I had a mower that had a broken wheel adjuster. And to fix that, unfortunately, you have to replace the entire drive shaft of the axle, I guess, of the back wheels, which incorporates the height adjuster knob or lever to it. And so I needed that for another machine. This one now no longer has height adjustment. So what I can do is just kind of make it a fixed height in the back, and I've done that to another mower in the past. But again, this is extra work for a mower that might be able to sell for $120 if I get it all cleaned up. The other third thing is missing a stud, which I also took for that other Remington mower. So it's missing a stud, and I have the nut for it, but I'm just missing the stud that goes into the ignition coil for this particular one. So anyways, let's address the runs but low idle. So let's see if we can get it running first of all, and I can show you what the problem is. Alright, so I've checked the oil. I put some fresh gas in the tank here, and it is leaking fuel right off the bat here, so that's not a good sign. So anyways, let's see if we can't get this thing to run. Well guys, that's why you're supposed to have 3 bolts on this thing. I pulled out the starter recoil there. Alright, so I think I switched gears a little bit on this one. Unfortunately, I think this one's just got too many issues. It's got a carb issue, leaking fuel. So the things are just adding up. So I think what I'm going to do is I have another push mower that has exactly the same engine on it with a smaller crappy deck with the wheels that tow in all the time, and they're non-adjustable really. So I'm going to take that good complete engine and go ahead and put it on this deck over here. But let me just revisit the run slow issue that I was talking about previously here. So to me, something that's running slow, first thing I'm going to check is the linkages for the throttle, because if it's running slow, that either means that it's choking for air, and that would have some black smoke associated with it coming out of the exhaust. The other potential issue is that the throttle linkage maybe is jammed up. So if I try and move this throttle linkage, it is definitely tight. It won't even go towards the idle set screw here. Right? So if you come across the other end of that throttle linkage, you come to the governor arm, and that governor arm should move freely lots more play than that. So I think what has happened, somebody has adjusted this governor incorrectly, and it's not allowing the engine to spool up. So let me take a look at this and see if that's our case, and let you know how to fix that particular problem if that happens to be what's going on your mower. All right, to adjust this governor properly, there is a arm or post here that goes into the engine, to the actual governor inside the engine block. That can be sort of adjusted. To adjust it, you would have to undo this 10mm nut. And then what you need to do is you need to have your governor arm in the full throttle position. That means it should be in the wide open throttle position. That is this way. If you looked in there, it's hard to see, but the butterfly valve should be fully open. All right, and so it needs to be in that position. This would be towards idle. This would be wide open throttle. So wide open throttle, if you watch this arm, is all the way to the right in this case. So this arm has to be fully to the right, and then this little post has to be all the way counterclockwise. So that's what we're going to do, attempt to do here, and see if that loosens up the play or the amount of movement on this governor arm. So I'm just going to get a pair of vice grips here. This is going to take probably 3 hands ideally, but all right. Then I'm going to loosen up this nut. Okay, it doesn't have to be taken all the way off. So you can see that this little knobby here that I got at the end of my vice grips has, you know, quite a bit of play there. And this governor shaft, let's see what else is going on here, because this should be able to move freely. And it's not moving freely. So let's just set it the way it's supposed to be. So you have to kind of keep the counterclockwise pressure on your vice grips, and the right hand, in this case the right hand, full throttle position on the governor arm, and try and tighten this thing up. And that, if done properly, you should have lots of play. So obviously that has less play in it. So I've done it the wrong way. And so what I'm going to do is loosen this back off. Okay, spin that all the way over the other way, and then tighten this back up. So we're kind of back to where we were, so I don't think that is the problem. You can see that this spring maybe is actually been twisted. So that is creating a little bit of tension on this arm, but it's still not allowing the throttle to fully close here. So maybe there is a problem with the actual throttle linkage, or the throttle butterfly valve. So that's where I'm going to look at next. Let me take a look. Oh boy, yeah, there's definitely something lodged in there. So, all right, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but there's definitely some sort of a black foam. I think that might be from like an air filter or something. So let's see if we can't dig that out. My apologies on the lighting, but oh man, the stuff that I find when I work on these small engines. Yeah, I want to say that that is foam from a air filter that is clogging this up. Although it looks like, it doesn't look like it. I don't know, it's tough to say. It looks kind of rounded shaped, but probably could have been just because that's where the way it's been sitting for a long time. So let me see if there's anything left in there. Yeah, I don't see anything left in there. Now let's just test this throttle. All right, so now you can see that this throttle linkage is moving all the way it's supposed to be. All right, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this thing started or not. I might give it another try just to see. I know there's fuel in the float bowl. Even though I've got this blocked off, there's still some fuel in the float bowl, so maybe this thing with a little bit of carb spray, yeah, the primer's not going to work. So a little bit of carb spray in there, maybe that will get this thing to fire up and see if the engine just runs properly now. All right, I took the old post, the post off the other mower, just to test this engine to see if it will fire up. And let's see what we get. All right, so it did run, and it ran for a little bit, and it actually was running just fine as far as speed is concerned. So that is definitely obviously our problem with this particular mower. So I will probably end this video here. Anyways guys, thanks for joining me on this one. If you've got issues with your engine not throttling up, maybe just double check the things that I was talking about here on this video, and hopefully that will help you out. So if you like the content, please show me a little love, smash the like button down below. If you're not a subscriber, consider doing so. It really helps me out on my channel. Until our next project, take care.